Hey everyone, it's Anthony. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and frankly a little bit heartbreaking. Why are people leaving the United States? We're talking about the land of opportunity, the home of the brave, the place where dreams are supposed to come true, right? But the truth is a growing number of people are choosing to build their lives elsewhere. And the reasons? Well, they're as diverse and complex as the country itself. From soaring living costs that feel like they're straight out of a dystopian novel to a healthcare system that seems designed to bankrupt you, it's a lot to unpack. Over the next few chapters, we're going on a journey to understand the top 10 reasons behind this exodus. We'll explore the struggles, the hopes, and the dreams that are pushing people away from the US and pulling them toward new horizons. So buckle up, DFTBA, and let's get right into it. Let's be real. Living in the US, especially in its bustling cities and charming suburbs, is becoming increasingly expensive. We're not just talking about avocado toast here, people. We're talking about the fundamental costs of survival housing, healthcare, education. For many, the American dream of owning a home, raising a family, and retiring comfortably feels more like a distant memory than an attainable goal. The numbers paint a stark picture. Rent is skyrocketing, wages are stagnating, and the middle class is feeling the squeeze. It's like trying to win a game where the rules keep changing and the finish line keeps moving further away. You're running as fast as you can, but the gap just keeps widening. It's no wonder that people are looking for a place where they can actually afford to, well, live. Let's talk about healthcare, or as I like to call it, the elephant in the waiting room. It's a topic that can make even the most eloquent person stumble over their words, and for good reason. The US healthcare system is notoriously complex, expensive, and frankly kind of terrifying. We all know the stories. People facing crippling medical debt, having to choose between paying for medication or putting food on the table, and delaying essential medical care because they simply can't afford it. It's a heartbreaking reality for millions of Americans, and it's a major factor driving people away. The fear of unexpected medical bills hanging over your head like a financial guillotine is not exactly conducive to living a happy and fulfilling life. Okay, so we've talked about money, or the lack thereof, but let's be real. The political climate in the United States is enough to make anyone want to pack their bags and become a digital nomad. It's like living in a constant state of existential dread, with a side of political gridlock. Every day it feels like there's a new crisis, a new scandal, or a new reason to feel anxious about the future. And it's not just the policies themselves, it's the constant division, the never-ending cycle of blame and counterblame. It feels like we're stuck in a loop, unable to move forward. The inability to have a nuanced conversation without it devolving into a Twitter war is exhausting. Social media has become a battleground where every opinion is met with hostility, and every disagreement turns into a full-blown conflict. People are tired of feeling like they have to choose sides in a never-ending battle for the soul of the nation. It's like there's no middle ground anymore, no room for compromise or understanding. They're craving, dare I say, a sense of unity or at least a break from the constant arguing. Imagine a world where people can come together, despite their differences, and work towards common goals. And it's not like other countries don't have their own political dramas, because trust me, they do. But there's something uniquely intense about the political climate in the United States. In other parts of the world, people manage to navigate their political differences without the same level of animosity. They have their disagreements, but there's often a sense of shared purpose that seems to be missing here. But the United States seems to have taken it to a whole new level. The polarization is so deep that it feels like we're living in two different countries, each with its own reality. It's like we've forgotten how to disagree respectfully, how to listen to each other without immediately jumping to conclusions or resorting to insults, how to find common ground. It's a skill that seems to be in short supply these days, but it's more important than ever if we're going to move forward as a society. And for some people, that's just too much to handle. The constant stress, the feeling of being under siege, it's no wonder that so many are looking for an escape. They'd rather live in a place where they can have a conversation about politics without wanting to tear their hair out. Can you blame them? In a world where everything feels so divided, the idea of finding a place where you can just breathe, where you can have a civil conversation without it turning into a shouting match, is incredibly appealing. Imagine waking up in a place where the biggest concern is what to have for breakfast, not the latest political scandal. A place where you can focus on the simple pleasures of life, rather than the constant barrage of bad news. It's not about running away from problems, but about finding a healthier way to engage with the world. Sometimes stepping back and gaining a new perspective can be the best way to find solutions. And who knows, maybe by experiencing different ways of living and different political systems, we can bring back some of that wisdom and apply it to our own lives. After all, the world is a big place, full of diverse ideas and approaches. So whether it's becoming a digital nomad, moving to a new country, or simply finding a way to disconnect from the constant noise, it's about finding what works for you. It's about reclaiming your peace of mind and finding a way to live that feels true to who you are. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve a little peace, a little respite from the chaos. And maybe, just maybe, by finding our own peace, we can contribute to a more peaceful world. So here's to finding that balance, to seeking out those moments of calm in a turbulent world. Because in the end, it's those moments that make life worth living. And who knows, maybe one day we'll look back and realize that these deep divisions were just a phase, a challenging chapter in a much larger story. A story where we learn to come together, despite our differences, and build a better future for everyone. Because if there's one thing history has taught us, it's that we are capable of great things when we work together. So let's not lose hope. Let's keep striving for that unity, for that sense of common purpose. Because in the end, it's worth it. All right, let's talk about the job market, because for many people, the American dream is becoming increasingly elusive. Finding a job that pays a living wage, let alone one that offers benefits and a sense of purpose, can feel like searching for a unicorn riding a dragon while juggling flaming chainsaws. Impossible. And then there's the whole work-life balance thing, or should I say the lack thereof. Americans work longer hours, take less vacation time, and face immense pressure to prioritize work above all else. It's like we've become slaves to the grind, and honestly, it's exhausting. So it's no wonder that people are looking beyond the borders for better opportunities. Countries with stronger worker protections, more vacation time, and a greater emphasis on work-life balance are starting to look pretty darn appealing. Because here's the thing, people are starting to realize that there's more to life than just working yourself to the bone. They want time for family, for hobbies, for travel, for, actually living. All right, let's talk about education, because in a knowledge-based economy, it's more important than ever. But here's the thing, getting a good education in the United States is becoming increasingly expensive. We're talking about crippling student loan debt, rising tuition costs, and a system that often feels designed to benefit lenders more than students. And it's not just college, even childcare costs are astronomical. Families are facing impossible choices between paying for rent or paying for preschool. It's like we're setting up our kids for a lifetime of debt before they even learn their ABCs. So we've talked about the economic realities, the healthcare hurdles, the political climate, but let's be honest, a lot of life isn't lived on spreadsheets or in voting booths, right? It's lived in the day-to-day, in the moments between work and sleep. And for many people, that's where this idea of quality of life really comes into play. See, in many European countries, for example, there's a greater emphasis on work-life balance. Longer vacations are more common, parental leave is practically a given, and the idea of working yourself to the bone, well, it's just not as glorified. And that's not to say Americans don't work hard, because we do. But when you factor in things like commutes, the cost of childcare, and the ever-present pressure to climb the ladder, it's no wonder some people start looking elsewhere for a life less scheduled. All right, let's talk about a tough one, safety. It's a topic that gets thrown around a lot, often with more heat than light. And it's understandable. Feeling safe, feeling secure, it's fundamental. It's woven into the fabric of our lives, whether we realize it or not. Now, comparing crime rates across countries is like comparing apples and oranges. Different reporting methods, different definitions of crime, the whole shebang. But perception matters too, right? The feeling of safety, or the lack thereof, can be a powerful motivator. And the truth is, the US has a complicated relationship with guns. It's a deeply ingrained part of our history and culture, but it also contributes to a level of gun violence that's simply unheard of in many other developed nations. Retirement, that mythical land of leisure, relaxation, and hopefully enough money to enjoy it all. But for a growing number of Americans, that land of retirement bliss isn't located in Florida or Arizona. It's across an ocean in countries that might surprise you. See, for many retirees, it's not just about escaping the cold winters anymore. It's about stretching their retirement savings further. Countries in Latin America, Southeast Asia, and even parts of Europe offer a lower cost of living, meaning those nest eggs can go a lot further. And it's not just about affordability. Imagine retiring in a charming village in Italy, sipping espresso in the piazza, or maybe spending your days exploring ancient temples in Thailand. For some, it's the adventure of a lifetime, a chance to experience a new culture and embrace a different pace of life. Back with our countdown of the top 10 reasons people are leaving the USA. Today we're diving into a topic that's not just timely, but also incredibly important. It's something that affects us all, no matter where we live or what we do. So let's get into it. And at number 9, we've got a topic that's, well, it's a little close to home. Literally, we're talking about the environment and how it's changing in ways that are making people rethink their lives and their futures. We're talking about environmental concerns. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're major issues that are reshaping the way we live. From wildfires that turn the sky orange to hurricanes that flood entire neighborhoods, the impact is undeniable. Now, I'm not talking about people just wanting to live closer to a beach, although I get that. Who wouldn't want to wake up to the sound of waves crashing and the smell of salt in the air? But this is about something much more significant. This is about something bigger. It's about the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters. It's about the rising sea levels that threaten to swallow coastal communities. It's about the very real and very immediate impact of climate change on our daily lives. We're talking about the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters, the rising sea levels, and the overall impact of climate change. These are not just future possibilities. They are happening right now, and they are affecting millions of people. And the overall impact of climate change. From melting ice caps that contribute to rising sea levels to forest fires that destroy homes and habitats, the evidence is all around us. It's in the news, it's in our communities, and it's in the decisions we make every day. These aren't just abstract concepts anymore. They're realities that people are facing every day. Families are being forced to evacuate their homes, neighborhoods are being destroyed, and entire communities are being displaced. It's a crisis that demands our attention and our action. And you know, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all of this, right? The constant barrage of bad news can make it seem like there's nothing we can do, but that's not true. There are steps we can take, both individually and collectively, to make a difference. Like, what can we as individuals even do? It's a question that many of us ask ourselves. The good news is, there are answers. We can reduce our carbon footprint, support sustainable practices, and advocate for policies that protect our environment. Every little bit helps. But the truth is, these environmental changes are having a very real impact on people's lives. They're displacing communities, threatening livelihoods, and forcing people to reconsider where and how they want to live. It's a reality that we can't ignore, and forcing people to reconsider where and how they want to live. For many, this means packing up and moving to places that are perceived as safer and more stable. It's a difficult decision, but sometimes it's the only option. So, it's not surprising that some people, especially those who are particularly vulnerable to these environmental changes, are choosing to relocate to countries that are perceived as being more environmentally stable and resilient. It's a trend that's only going to grow as the effects of climate change become more pronounced. Are choosing to relocate to countries that are perceived as being more environmentally stable and resilient. These places offer not just a safer environment, but also a chance to start fresh, to build a new life in a place where the future feels a little more secure. It's a powerful motivator, and it's driving a significant shift in population dynamics. But it's not just about running away from the problem. Many people are also taking action to make a difference. They're getting involved in environmental initiatives, supporting renewable energy projects, and working to create more sustainable communities. It's a collective effort that shows we can make a positive impact. Education is also playing a crucial role. Schools and communities are teaching the next generation about the importance of protecting our planet. These young minds are our future leaders, and they're being equipped with the knowledge and tools they need to make a difference. And let's not forget the power of activism. Around the world, people are raising their voices and demanding change. From local protests to global climate strikes, the message is clear. We need to act now to protect our planet for future generations. It's a collective effort that requires all of us to come together. Whether it's through small daily actions or larger community projects, every effort counts. Together, we can create a more sustainable and resilient world. So while the challenges are significant, the opportunities for positive change are just as great. By working together and taking action, we can help ensure that our planet remains a beautiful and thriving place for generations to come. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, Mother Nature doesn't negotiate, but we can make choices that help protect and preserve our environment. Stay tuned for more insights on why people are making the move and what it means for our future. Until next time, take care and stay informed. Coming in at number 10 on our list of reasons why people are leaving the USA is a bit of a curveball. We're not talking about economics or politics here, but something a little more intangible: cultural differences. Now, I know what you might be thinking. America is a melting pot. We've got every culture right here. And you're not wrong, we do have incredible diversity. But here's the thing. Sometimes you just crave something different. Like maybe you grew up on a steady diet of Hollywood movies and pop music, and you're curious about experiencing life through a different lens. Maybe you're drawn to the history, the art, the cuisine, or even just the pace of life in another part of the world. And that's totally okay. It's natural to be curious about the world beyond our own borders. In fact, I think it's one of the most beautiful things about being human. We have this innate desire to explore, to learn, to connect with something bigger than ourselves. And sometimes that means stepping outside of our comfort zones and immersing ourselves in a culture that's different from our own. It's about challenging our perspectives, expanding our horizons, and discovering new ways of seeing the world. Imagine sitting down to a meal in a small village in Italy, where the pasta is handmade and the recipes have been passed down for generations. Or picture yourself dancing in the streets during a vibrant festival in Brazil, where the energy is contagious and the music is unlike anything you've ever heard. Learning a new language can also be a thrilling adventure. It opens up new ways of thinking and allows you to connect with people on a deeper level. Visiting historical landmarks and hearing the stories behind them can give you a profound appreciation for the past and how it shapes the present. Volunteering abroad is another way to immerse yourself in a different culture. It allows you to give back to the community and make a positive impact while learning about their way of life. The friendships you form while traveling can be some of the most meaningful connections you'll ever make. These bonds often transcend cultural differences and last a lifetime. Even the way you get around can be an adventure. Whether it's riding a tuk-tuk in Thailand, sailing on a traditional boat in Greece, or taking a scenic train ride through the Swiss Alps, each mode of transportation offers a unique perspective on the world. Shopping at local markets can be a treasure hunt. You never know what unique souvenirs you'll find, and bargaining with vendors can be a fun and rewarding experience. Attending local performances, whether it's a traditional dance, a live music show, or a theater production, can give you a deeper understanding of the culture and its artistic expressions. Outdoor activities can also be a great way to experience a new culture. Hiking in the Andes, snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, or skiing in the Alps can show you the natural beauty and recreational opportunities of different regions. Visiting religious sites and observing rituals can provide insight into the spiritual life of a culture. It's a chance to learn about different beliefs and practices, and to reflect on your own. Attending workshops and learning traditional crafts can be a hands-on way to connect with a culture. Whether it's making pottery, weaving textiles, or learning to cook local dishes, these activities can be both educational and enjoyable. Exploring natural wonders and visiting national parks can show you the incredible diversity of landscapes and wildlife around the world. It's a reminder of the beauty and fragility of our planet. Reflecting on your travels and sharing your experiences with others can be a rewarding way to process what you've learned and to inspire others to explore the world. Ultimately, traveling and experiencing different cultures is about building connections, It's about understanding and appreciating the diversity of the human experience and finding common ground despite our differences. So if you feel the urge to explore beyond burgers and baseball, know that you're not alone. The world is full of incredible experiences waiting to be discovered. And who knows? You might just find that the journey itself is the most rewarding part of all. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 reasons people are leaving the USA. From soaring living costs to the pursuit of new cultural experiences, it's a complex tapestry of factors that are driving people to seek new horizons. Remember, this isn't about judging anyone's decision to stay or go. It's about understanding the forces at play and engaging in thoughtful conversations about the future we want to create, both here in the US and around the world. Because ultimately, we're all citizens of this pale blue dot, and our destinies are intertwined. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel guides. Until next time, keep exploring.